first attempt was thwarted by pitching. Friday, the arm of Cole Hamels quieted a San Diego offense that exploded before their arrival to Philadelphia, where they could find just one run. The second attempt was shot down with an offense that delivered with a powerful performance. The long ball would prove to be too much, and the Padres were left wondering once again how to beat these Phillies. The Phillies offense that the fans had grown to love over the years did a return engagement yesterday. We'll see if it continues this afternoon in Game 3 of this 4-game series against the Padres. What a streak the Phillies have been on against San Diego. They've won 9 consecutive games, including the 2 to start this series. It's the longest current win streak in baseball, tied with the Brewers, the A's, the Nationals in MLB. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Sarge will be along, dried out, I might add, a little later on. Well, this has been a great run for the Phillies against the San Diego Padres. And I guess you could say, Wheels, in this month of July, the Phillies offense has also come to life.
Yeah, it sure has, Tom. And the Padres are a team that they are having some success against. A lot of it done out in San Diego in that big ballpark, Petco Park. They have won a lot of games against the Padres over the last couple years. Now it is 9 in a row, including the 2 here and 7 straight out in San Diego. The last time the Padres won was a final game of a 4-game series here last year. You see the numbers, how overwhelming they are for the Phillies against San Diego. Yesterday, Ryan Howard off the bench, was getting the day off, got that pinch hit home run, and then the Phillies took off. Michael Martinez didn't get a bunt down, and then on an 0-2 count, he hit a breaking ball out, and the Phillies were off and running. Carlos Ruiz, the whole bench pretty happy about that. This guy, Chase Utley, he is starting to really drive the ball in the alleys. There's a home run to left center, a home run to right center, and that's the kind of hitter he is, alley to alley when he's swinging the bat well. Really a firm base right now in his stance, and he is swinging the bat great. The last 4 games, batting average .571, a lot of extra base hits, on base percentage, playing great defense, the leader of this baseball team, and a guy that really can make things go for the Phillies.
And his first home run yesterday was his 100th career home run here at Citizens Bank Park. He's looking for number 102 today against the San Diego Padres. So it's Game 3 of this 4-game series. Roy Halladay will take the baseball for the Phillies off his short outing against the Cubs earlier this week. Tim Stoffer, whose family grew up in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, they'll be on hand to watch him make his 21st start of the year. Well, Halladay had a gem his last time against the Padres. We'll see if he has another one in him today. Starters, first pitch coming up next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch with a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines do rapid rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By Toyota. Toyota offers fuel efficiency you'll love. Only better. By Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. By Citizens Bank. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. Reminder to bring your new or gently used toys for the toy drive the Philly ball girls are going to be having. Another sellout here at the ballpark. Everybody fan of themselves. It doesn't feel like December. It doesn't feel like Christmas. It has been a warm week here in the Delaware Valley, and it will continue this afternoon. Roy Halladay and the Phillies have taken the field. Let's take a look at the Padres starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in center field is Cameron Maben. Will Venable, the right fielder, bats second. Chase Headley hits third. Ryan Ludwig, the left fielder, bats cleanup. Kyle Blank starts at first base. He'll hit fifth. Logan Forsythe had a pretty good game yesterday. He'll bat sixth. In the bottom third of Phillips Gonzalez and Tim Stauffer. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Roy Halladay, who's gotten an extra day's rest like the other starters. And he's making his 21st start of the year. And Wheels, he's done some things this week to try to make sure that he doesn't get dehydrated like he did in the start against the Cubs. So we'll see. I'm sure that this guy that everybody thinks is a machine, I'm sure he's figured some things out.
Well, there's a lot of pride right there. If you look at the Southwest Airlines scouting report, intensity in every start. Well, he was flat out embarrassed by what happened to him the other day. You know, physically, it was one of those things, just kind of a freak night there at Wrigley Field. He just could not recover from the heat. He had nowhere to go in that dugout, and it just got to him, and he finally had to leave that ball game. And you don't look for that to happen again with Roy Halladay.
Yeah, he threw his bullpen a couple days later, felt very good after Monday's start. And this is what happened. This is right out of the chute, the first inning. Aramis Ramirez's first inning home run, and then it just kind of unraveled after that.
Well, you could see him, too. You know, you were watching him. He was shaking his head. He was blinking a lot. He bent over, and you could tell he was just really, really struggling. And right there is when they finally had to come and get him. And you saw him finally say, all right. You know, it was like they had to pull him out of the game. He did not want to leave. And as I said, as much as anything, I think Halladay, knowing the competitor he is, he was a little bit embarrassed by all that attention.
Well, here we go. The first batter he'll face is Cameron Maben, riding a 9-game hitting streak and make it 10 consecutive games as Maben does what a lot of leadoff hitters have done this year against Halladay, and that's reach base safely.
They swing at him so early in the count, and the batting average with leadoff batters is really high against Roy Halladay.
Well, the conditions for this afternoon's ball game, 94 degrees, cloudy. So there's a little bit of cover for this sold-out crowd that's settling in for the third of the 4-game series. We'll finish up tomorrow afternoon.
I think everybody would like it to stay like this right now. You know, you all love baseball and the sunshine and all that. Well, if you had a little cloud cover today, it'd be okay.
Maben leads off first. He has stolen a base in each of the last 5 games, and he's going to steal another one. Halladay realized he was going, but spun over to first.
Yeah, where he made a mistake there was when someone yelled he's going, instead of just stepping off, they would have had him in a rundown then. But Halladay fired that ball right over to first base, and Maben goes. See right here where he recognizes something's going on. He's already here, and now he's just starting to throw the baseball to first base. As a pitcher, you step off there and become that 5th infielder, and then there's no balk involved, and you can get the guy. Now, whether or not he could have done that, you know, that's up to Halladay.
So 22nd stolen base of the year for Maben, and Will Venable might be up there to try to bunt him over to third. Venable did not play yesterday. He's had a sore hamstring the last couple of days. He was in the starting lineup, but was scratched to late. And Chris DeNorfia was given the start instead.
Yeah, see if they give him a chance to pull the ball here, and it would appear that that's what they're going to do.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. So after squaring on the first pitch, he took the second one, and he does try to pull this third, and it's 1-2. Halladay with 11 victories is second to Jair Jurgens and Cole Hamels for victories in the National League. Jurgens got batted around yesterday by the Cincinnati Reds. And Hamels, of course, won his 12th game on Friday. And that's part of the success of Roy Halladay. With runners in scoring position, the opposition hitting .252 against him. Swing and a miss. He got it with a changeup. 1 away here in the first.
Now you have to watch Maben very closely because he might think about stealing third base as the sun comes out. That'll make it real steamy. Tom said a changeup. Good job by Carlos to not only call it but block it. And now Maben, you have to have attention directed towards him. See, he's stolen a bag in 6 straight.
Chase Headley is 1 for 9 of the series so far.
Jimmy Rollins is the guy who's going to come in behind Maben a little bit.
First pitch inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
So how they make sure he look back once, look back twice. Don't forget about it.
Although Headley's 1 for 9 in this series, you see what he's done since the first week of June. The best average in the National League. And a breaking ball low. 2 balls and no strikes. Halladay pitched a complete game earlier this year against the Washington Nationals back on the 13th of April. Allowed 6 hits and 2 runs, and the home plate umpire was Alan Porter, who's back there now. Low and inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Alan Porter's a Philadelphia native. Went to Montgomery County Community College. Every time we see him umpire here in Philadelphia, you have to think it's got to be a huge thrill.
I would think so. Like when Eric Gregg first started to umpire here in his hometown, we were always so happy for Eric and Jerry Crawford.
3-1 the count to Headley, who has 1 hit in 7 at-bats in his career against Halladay, with Ludwig waiting on deck. On the outside corner again, it's 3-2.
Turning around and looking at Porter a lot early in this game with the Padres hitters.
That's a nice pitch right on the black.
Yeah, he thought it was outside, and it looked like he may have caught the front of the corner coming over home plate. And that's a good sign for Halladay if he's going to call those.
Headley just called time, so that's why the delay. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the first. Line drive, base hit it to right field. Brown stutter steps. Maben heading home. The throw to the plate way up the third base line, and Headley's going to go up to second, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Maben didn't get a great jump off second, but Dominic Brown didn't get a great jump coming after that ball either. So it's an RBI single for Headley.
Yeah, and a very poor throw too, because if you don't get the guy at the plate, that's all right, but make sure it's in the area where somebody can cut it off, or the catcher can come forward and at least keep the guy at first base and keep the double play in order. Here it is. There's the base hit to right field. I don't know why Maben wouldn't run right away, because that ball's on the ground, but here's a throw way up the line. No chance for anybody to cut it off, and now you have another runner in scoring position.
So Ryan Ludwig, 0 for 5 in his career against Halladay, swings at the first pitch. Fly ball to center field. Headley's going to tank from second. It should be deep enough to move him over, and he's going to head over as Victorino made the catch. So 2 outs with a runner at third. Halladay's allowed 7 first-inning runs, including the 1 this afternoon. And that'll bring Kyle Blanks to the plate. Blanks made his first start yesterday since May of 2010. He's been on the disabled list a long time after Tommy John surgery, and he's been in the minor leagues most of this year. He has good numbers in the minor leagues. Hit .312 with 15 home runs and 62 runs batted in 78 games.
Boy, he got a big strike zone. How did you start him with a good curveball?
0-2 the count. So that note, he's a former 42nd round draft pick. Well, if he wasn't going to make it in baseball, he probably could have made it in basketball or football, because he is as big as a house.
Yeah, he is a big guy, and right now he is a big swinger too. He has him set up to get him out a lot of ways.
Really held on that pitch.
When he tried to throw changeup there to him, he started with curveball, then threw cutter, and then went for the kill with a changeup, the way he does a lot of times. Does Roy Halladay when he's looking for a strikeout, and he doesn't necessarily need a strikeout. See, he was born in Souderton.
Yeah, born in Souderton, grew up in New Mexico. Got him. Second strikeout of the inning for Halladay. He leaves one over at third. The Padres do score on an RBI single by Chase Headley. So it's 1-0 Padres as we go to the bottom of the first. Citizens Bank Park. Let's see what the offense has in store for the Padres this afternoon. And the lineup brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Michael Martinez, the third baseman, bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Shane Victorino. Raul Ibanez is in left field. He'll bat sixth. Dominic Brown, seventh. Carlos Ruiz down to the 8 hole. And he'll do the catching today, of course. And Roy Halladay out on the mound, and they'll face 29-year-old right-hander Tim Stauffer, who is from Saratoga Springs, New York, but his family is from Boyertown, where his dad Rick was a big-time player for Boyertown High and Boyertown Legion, and also for St. Joseph's University.
Southwest Airlines scouting report on the former Richmond Spider, and everybody who sees him and talks about him says he is a bulldog out there, and he will battle you with all kinds of different pitches. You know, nothing really outstanding, but a strike thrower who well, they just don't score for him like they don't score for a lot of their pitchers.
1 ball and no strikes the count to Rollins, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Talking to Mark Grant, their television broadcaster, he says he's really improved his cut fastball, and that looked like one right there that he'll backdoor to left-handed hitters.
Rollins tried to hold up his swing, but he went around, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So a breaking ball there, curveball.
Stauffer on the year 6-6, but a 2.83 earned run average. And a curveball swung on it, missed, and he's gotten Rollins for the first out here in the first.
That one he hung, and Jimmy just swung and missed, swung through it. How about our Nissan Keys to this afternoon's ball game? Back to being a little bit overcast right now. Everybody hopes it stays this way, and you won't have to battle the heat quite as much. We're going to battle it anyway today. And hey, it's a 4-game series, but you have a chance to win the series right today.
Michael Martinez shows bunt on the first pitch and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Yesterday, in a pivotal at bat in the ball game, Martinez couldn't get a bunt down, and then hit a 3-run home run right into the first row in right field. One of 4 home runs hit by the Phillies, and it's also part of a 6-game hitting streak for Martinez.
He's been very productive.
Shows bunt again, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Charlie, we've kind of mixed emotions about the whole thing. He says because this guy, the game that he has to play, has to get a bunt down, and he hasn't been able to do it every time he's asked him to do it this year. And Charlie says he's got to get better at that, and they're going to work with him. But you know, he's 28 years old, and it's one of those things he should be a little bit better at this point.
Slaps that one to left, and Ludwig makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Well, it's time now for our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Chase Utley not only hit 1, but 2 yesterday.
And look where they go, too. They go into the alleys. That one to left center field and then right center field. And when Chase Utley's swinging the bat, when most good hitters are swinging the bat, they wear out the field in the alleys. And that's his way of hitting, and that's a good sign.
Chase Utley's last 15 games here at Citizens Bank Park hitting .368. And those home runs yesterday for him were numbers 100 and 101 here at Citizens Bank Park.
Stauffer already showing a lot of different pitches and locations here in the first inning with all these left-handed hitters.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The luck of McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Brian Hughes of Leesport. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Brian will win $200. 2-0 the count to Chase Utley. In the dirt, 3 balls and no strikes. Yesterday was the 19th multi-home run game for Chase Utley, and his first one this year. And his numbers are looking more and more like the Utley numbers that everybody expects. And there's ball 4, so he's aboard for Ryan Howard.
Stauffer has good walk strikeout ratio, 33 walks, 94 strikeouts, now 34 and 95. Here's Ryan Turner. Had the day off yesterday. He had a lot of trouble with the starting pitcher Latos, so Charlie decided to give him the day off and let him go hit in the cages for a while, work on some things, send him up as a pinch hitter. Big home run right there for Ryan Howard. Tied the game after the Padres had gone ahead late in the game, and that's when you worry about this team because their bullpen's so good late.
Well, they never got to the real strong part of their bullpen.
Right. Qualls had done a good job for them this year.
Yeah.
He'd thrown 1 home run ball before last night, or before yesterday afternoon, and then 3 in 1 inning.
Yeah, they never got to that guy that just yawned right there with his foot up. That's Heath Bell.
Yeah, you want him to stay out there and just, entertain his friends, or maybe come in a blowout game. You don't to get some work. You don't want him to come in the save because he's a problem.
1 ball, no strikes, the count. And Howard takes a strike. It's 1-1.
And Adams is another one who they use in the 8th inning, who's a really good pitcher. Hard slider.
There's Jack Qualls, who struggled yesterday.
I want to get him back in the game as soon as possible, you'd think.
You mean the Phillies or the Padres?
Well, I don't think the Phillies are going to get too cocky about what they did against him yesterday. But he's a good one. That was shocking to watch that happen. Nice, but shocking.
Howard lays off, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
See, anybody can throw a curveball nowadays. Tries to throw at a lot of these Phillies hitters. And Stauffer's already thrown a few. He got Rollins on one. He just threw Ryan Howard one there to try and strike him out or get him out.
That one nearly backdoored on the outside part of the plate. It's 3-2. That means Utley's going to be off and running.
That's a pitcher talking about that Mark Grant told us about, that he uses that backdoor cutter a lot. He doesn't throw it in on them that much, the left-handed hitters, but he likes to throw it as a surprise pitch there.
Well, he's going to get a good start here. Blanks is way back behind him. There he goes, and the pitch is lined the opposite way, a base hit. And Utley's going to easily get to third. Ludwig's throw will go towards second. I think Chase is thinking, boy, that throw went in so softly. I thought Chase it for a moment, thought about going all the way home.
Well, he watched it, as you just said, Tom. He's watching it the whole way, and if it, something happens, it gets mishandled or it's too soft, he might go. That looked like another cutter there. And Chase is running on the 3-2 count on his own, sees it in front of him, coasting to third base, but watching the whole time how that throw was coming back in.
Well, he is safe at third, safe and secure with New York Life.
That was a good swing by Ryan Howard, too. He hit that ball pretty well. It wasn't late as much as I think he waited on it into the strike zone a little. Sometimes, he's going to hit a ball over there, just a late swing off the end of the bat. That ball was driven hard to left field.
So first and third for Victorino. Victorino 2 for 7 in the series so far. And he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Looks like he's still feeling for it a little bit after coming off the disabled list. He was so hot before that, and it can take a little time. See, just 2 for 15.
Good play by Kyle Phillips, the catcher, to keep that one in front of him. He wears his catcher's helmet the same way his brother Jason Phillips wore it. He doesn't have it turned around. He has it with the bill in the front.
Yeah, that's an old style one. Sometimes they just have this nowadays where it's just a shell they put on there and doesn't even have a brim on it.
Three 3-0 the count. Well, they're now making him work all of a sudden. His ball to strike ratio is 13-8 with Ibanez waiting on deck.
Whether Charlie would turn him loose here because he's not swinging real well, but we'll see.
Third 3-ball count of the first for Stauffer. And he throws a strike, and it's 3-1. Bud Black, the manager, Darren Balsley, the pitching coach. Yesterday, Matt Latos settled in pretty nicely for San Diego. Back toward the middle, and it's going to get into center field. A base hit, and the Phillies will tie it up. An RBI single for Victorino. Utley scores. It's a 1-1 game. Boy, they were shaded that way, too.
That was a nice at bat by Shane Victorino. Worked the count to get a fastball to hit, and then just go right back through the middle. Gonzalez is shortstop. I don't know whether he didn't see that right away. I think it's going to be a hit anyway, no matter what. But as Tom said, he was shaded that way, and he really did not get a good break on it. and not even that close to it, even with a dive.
Alberto Gonzalez is playing today for Jason Bartlett, the normal shortstop, who has better range than Gonzalez, but still, as Wheel said, that ball, that was a good piece of hitting by Victorino to pick up the RBI.
Yeah, and that's a really nice run, too. When you figure there's 2 outs and nobody on base after Roy Halladay gives up a run, and Chase Utley waits out a walk, and then base hit, base hit. And that's Utley, you know, he's just, run out of ways to describe how important he is to this team. It's just so obvious.
Now Ibanez with 2 on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, all even at 1. And he takes on the outside corner. So Alan Porter settled in on that outside part of the plate.
Likes that backdoor cutter. With all these left-handed hitters he's facing, it's a pretty good pitch for him.
Came back with a breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, everything away. Another, that was curveball.
See Stauffer's numbers against the Phillies. That's where they were coming into today's game.
He's had 2 games here in this park where he's really struggled. He pitched a good game against them in San Diego.
And Ibanez drills one to right field. That's going to get past Venable off the base of the wall. Howard's going to score. Ibanez is going to second, stopping at third Victorino, and the Phillies take a 2-1 lead.
Nice job by Raul. A mistake by Stauffer with 2 strikes. Mentioned how he was staying away from him the whole at bat. I don't know whether he tried to come in or not, but he got one towards the middle of the plate and down where left-handed hitters love it. Yep, they're trying to come inside with something. Oh, right in the happy zone for a left-handed hitter, and he turns on it.
Ball carried pretty well, too.
Oh, they're really carrying here this series with this heat. But the homers flying out of here yesterday.
So second and third, Dominic Brown's the batter with the Phillies up 2-1. A 2-out rally. And Brown takes a strike. It's 0-1.
It's a really good sign to be able to come back like this. Against a good young pitcher in Stauffer with 2 outs and nobody on base after your ace gives up a run. Phillies could get some offensive consistency for a while. Just wonder how good they could be, because you know they're really good right now.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have taken a 3-1 lead over the Mets. That game's in the bottom of the third. Bonifacio's now hit in 23 straight games for Florida. That's who you would pick to have a 23-game hitting streak, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily, but he is a guy that doesn't surprise that much because he can get a lot of bleeders the way he can run.
1-1 the count to Dominic Brown. Off the end of the bat. Ludwig comes in. Now he falls back a little bit, makes the catch, and the side is retired. The Phillies with 2 outs get 2 runs. They do so with the help of 3 hits, including one by Ibanez. We go to the second here in Philly. when it comes to everyday life on Earth, they are lost in the cosmos. TV's funniest comedy, The Big Bang Theory, is coming to PHL 17 weeknights, premiering September 19th. Wheels, we're heading out toward Sheldon and Leonard's neck of the woods in another week or so. They live in Pasadena on the show.
Okay. Yeah.
There's Logan Forsythe. We used to stay in Pasadena, which was a neat town.
For fans of the Big Ten, that is, of course, where the Rose Bowl is located, that beautiful stadium.
You could drive right by it. It's in the middle of a neighborhood, and you may not even notice it's there.
It's an amazing place.
1 ball and 1 strike the count to Forsythe.
And it goes into the ground. I went out and looked at it, and it goes down into the ground so that it's not, for a place that seats over 100,000, it's not real high.
Not high at all. It's wide.
Wide, yeah.
On the inside corner, 1-2. Forsythe, he said yesterday, played a role in the Padres coming back and then taking the lead at one point. 3 for 7 so far on this road trip for San Diego. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2.
Don't know that much about that show, but I thought you were going to tell me we were headed to Roswell, New Mexico or something.
Well, if you asked those guys at the show, they would probably do that. It's a funny show, Wheels. I told you, you got to watch it.
Yeah, well.
Mix it in with one of those CSI shows.
I'll get that around when I have my first cup of coffee, I guess.
Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Halladay. 1 out here in the second. Well, speaking of some shows to look back at, let's look back at Dancing on Air. In fact, they did a little retrospect of Dancing on Air the last couple of nights on PHL 17. Look at that, Wheels. Wow. Look at those moves.
Could only dream of moving like that.
You know, some of those outfits you could probably use even today if you choose to.
Some probably do.
Saw a lot of those jackets the other night.
A little Sonny Crockett look there. I remember that show.
Yeah, a lot of guys were wearing that outfit. Scott Palmer, Greg Castriato, Phillies director of media relations.
There's two
the other night.
There's 2 real hip guys.
Line drive caught by Utley. So Phillips is retired. And all that brings us to our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Speaking of Dancing on Air, we look back to some of the folks that were part of the Dancing on Air regime. Look at Bill Egbert. Look at that. Eggy, who's one of our camera operators here down on the third base side, looking good. Charlie O'Gara. Man, he had the handheld. Charlie hasn't looked much different than what he did with Dancing on Air. But we do have more as the day moves on. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. 2 very versatile cameramen.
Charlie and Aggie have done a lot of shows over the years.
Here's Alberto Gonzalez, and he takes low. 2 balls and no strikes. There's Eggy.
Back in the 70s, Eggy right there and Charlie, they used to do our commercials for us up at the old studios on Mermaid Lane. And we used to go up there with Denny Lehman, and I used to go up there and with the scripts, and those guys would be the cameramen. Along with Artie, and I think his last name was Sikowski.
Artie
Great
Sikowski.
Guy.
Is that what it was, Charlie? Artie Sikowski? That's what he says.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Artie used to tell Charlie what Charlie did on his vacation. He was like that guy from Cheers. I mean, Charlie used to say, "Well, will you let me tell them what I did?" And Artie'd say, "No, I'll do it better."
2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Alberto Gonzalez. Line drive toward left. Ibanez froze for a moment. It's going to drop in front of him. I'm not sure if he would have gotten to that anyway. It wasn't hit that hard. So a 2-out single. Well, continue on with the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Look at Greg Farnese, our left field camera operator. Oh, man. I'm not sure what's worse, the bow tie or the shirt.
He was part of the dancers, huh?
Yeah, Greg, you're looking good right now. I like this look a whole lot better. The other look was too unmanageable. I wouldn't want the count to Tim Stauffer. They look like 2 different people, Wheels.
Well, they probably were at one time. Sure, he had a lot more energy in those dancing pictures.
That was a close pitch that just missed.
Speaking of great cameramen, his dad Aldo was one of our favorites and was here for a long time at Veterans Stadium doing Phillies games. He was a great baseball fan and a guy we really miss.
What a 2 the count. That ball eventually stopped for Fan to pick it up. Breaking ball. Stauffer does have 6 hits in 36 at-bats. He's also driven in 4. Not this time. Down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Halladay. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left, and one more glance at Greg Farnese. There you go, Greg. Hang on to it. It was there at one time. Computer, then stop by MLB.tv. Go to Phillies.com and check out all the Phillies games that have already been played this year, archived, or you can take the Phillies with you wherever you are on the road. Again, go to Phillies.com to try out MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Bottom of the second, Phillies up 2-1. Tim got the first 2 outs in the first, but then allowed a couple runs on 3 hits, walked a batter. That's what started the rally. He'll face Ruiz, Halladay, and then the top of the order.
Nice rally by the Phillies, though, with 2 outs in the first inning to come back and get 2 runs after Roy Halladay had given up a first inning run.
Ruiz is riding a 9-game hitting streak. His average up to 266 with 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He's had a sizzle in July. And he's ahead 2-0.
That's what got it started in the first inning when Chase Utley had that patient at bat.
And there's ball 4, so now Halladay can come up and try to sacrifice Ruiz up to second. Second walk issued by Stauffer.
And that'll be the game plan. Roy's gotten better at this. Ruiz can be very tough to bunt over, though, as most catchers are.
Halladay 3 for 45 this year overall.
The key for Halladay, of course, is not trying to make a perfect bunt, even though you're thinking that because of the guy at first base without much speed.
He has 9 sacrifice bunts this year, and he bunts that one toward first, and that is as perfect a bunt as he's going to have as Ruiz goes up to second.
That was a really good job.
And the fans acknowledge it.
Jimmy Rollins is taking a long time right now in that on-deck circle. Let Halladay go back and sit down. Watch him get the bat out in front of home plate, deaden the ball, and put it in a spot where it rolls a good distance. First baseman Blanks has to field it, tag him. No chance to even think about throwing to second. Good job of getting the bat out in front of home plate there by Roy Halladay. They use that term about letting the bat catch the ball. That's what that looked like.
So what away. Here's Rollins with a runner in scoring position. Rollins struck out his first time up. And a pickoff play is on. Oh boy, if that was a good throw, Ruiz probably would have been picked off.
Yeah, they put that play on with him taking that big lead off second, and he was out. Real good time. Watch the timing play. Probably have something that triggered it, and then the pitcher starts to count. Infielder breaks. Very good job, except for the throw.
In the dirt, blocked by Phillips. 1-0.
Carlos is really frisky out there right now. You better be careful, or the catcher's going to throw behind him.
Line drive foul. He got out in front. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Rollins.
A lot of off-speed stuff from Stauffer. Changeups, curveballs.
Now coming into today's ball game, the Phillies had a 5-game lead over the Atlanta Braves. Braves will play Cincinnati later on today. Mets 13.5 back. Washington 14.5 back.
They have the night game tonight on ESPN. You know, there's a couple of things about those standings that are good for the Phillies, and it's way too early to worry about it, but they're 6 in the loss column, and they also have 2 games in hand, which means you could go win those games. They've played 2 less games than the Braves to this point.
Rollins chops it towards short. It's spinning toward Gonzalez. Ruiz goes over to third, and there are 2 outs. And that'll bring Martinez to the plate. Mentioned that Stauffer's family is from Boyertown. His father, Rick, as we alluded to before, had several different tryouts out of Boyertown to play in the minor leagues. And he went on to play at St. Joseph's University. He played for the great Harry Booth at St. Joseph's University. And he was part of the '71 Hawk team that was the first to go to the NCAA tournament. He also was part of Boyertown's first state championship Legion team in 1969. The first of more than 20 that they've won.
They've been known for that.
Yeah. I think it's 21 state titles they've won.
Wow.
And Rick Stauffer was a 16-year-old on that '69 team and was a freshman on the '71 St. Joseph's team. Tim bypassed SJU and went on to the University of Richmond, where he established a number of records.
Well, they're really making him work hard this afternoon. Up over 40 pitches, 42 right now with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. And you really want to do that if you can on a hot day like this.
Outside, ball 4. 2nd walk of the inning, 3rd overall. And now it's 1st and 3rd for Chase Headley. And Chase Headley's going to give Stauffer a breather. Coming over to clean out his spikes.
And the catcher Phillips is going through some signs in front of home plate, and those are to talk to the middle, or alert the middle infielders what they want to do if Utley breaks here. And the odds are they'll let him go. I mean, excuse me, if Martinez were to break from first base, you know, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd throw.
Martinez has stolen 3 bags so far this year. All 3 have come in the last week. He doesn't go. Utley takes in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, if he was going there, that would have been the pitch to run on too. And would they walk Utley with a base open to get to Howard? Who knows?
Yeah, aside from Howard's home run yesterday and his base hit the opposite way today, he has been scuffling compared to Chase.
And that's one of the things that we'll keep in mind, and maybe they have a don't run on for Martinez.
So Howard waits. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Oh,
just missed. That's been a strike a couple of times today. It might have been a little wide.
that was a pitch. If you're going to run, probably run. Although, as I looked up, the shortstop did come towards second base right away then. So they're thinking about throwing through.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So as the at-bat has continued, maybe they've changed their approach on both ends. He doesn't go. Utley's down on strikes, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 2 men left. We've completed 2. Stauffer's gotten through the second. It's on to the third. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And Wheels, please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, and today is the Hall of Fame induction ceremony for Pat Gillick. As GM of the Mariners, what player did Pat select in the first round of the 0-2 draft? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Pat Gillick is about to be introduced up in Cooperstown. Pat is being enshrined today, the same day that Roberto Alomar and Bert Blyleven are going into the Hall of Fame. And the day after, Dave Van Horn, Bill Conlon, and Roland Heeman were put into their respective places in baseball's Hall of Fame. They've split them up this year. Got a chance to hear Bill Conlon's speech and Dave Van Horn's speech. And obviously there was a Philly flair to both. As Roy Halladay begins the third, a swing and a miss to Maven. It's 0-2. Dave Van Horn grew up in Easton, Pennsylvania. He's been the announcer for the Expos and the Marlins for a combined 42 years. And Dave's speech was outstanding.
Yeah, Dave was the original broadcaster with the Marlins when they came, or with the Expos. And as you said, Tom, from Easton, and he threw out names like By Som and Bill Campbell.
Bill Campbell, yep.
And Gene Kelly,
yep.
who are the voices of my youth.
Here's the 1-2 to Maven in the dirt. Well, I thought that was great. You know, hearing him mention not only By Som and Gene Kelly, but also Bill Campbell.
Yep.
Great tribute to all 3 of those guys.
And 3 great voices of Philadelphia Phillies baseball, and also for the A's.
There's a changeup nubbed foul, and it remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, I hope Bill had a chance to hear it, because it was a great speech. It was very elegant. And, you know, Bill Conlon's speech was, as you would expect, it was filled with some tremendous stories. And, you know, talked about the business a little bit. Business of newspaper journalism in this day and age.
Yeah, very different than when he started. Bill used to do a morning commentary at WCAU Radio, 1210. Bill Conlon did back in the 60s.
Ground ball towards second. Utley gobbles it up. Has to hurry. Just gets Maven. One away. Well, tomorrow is Christmas in July as the Phillies wrap up the series against the Padres. The Phillies ball girls will be hosting a toy drive Donations of new unwrapped toys for children of all ages will be accepted at all gates at Citizens Bank Park. Benefits local children's charities, including the Ford Powell Center, DuPont Hospital for Children. Again, that's tomorrow prior to the game. Temperature is around 100 degrees down on the field today.
It's like Christmas in Clearwater.
Yeah, right.
So Conlon's in the 60s. He's right. He's doing a morning show, but he would cover the Phillies, of course, at night, and he was a late night person.
Venable hits one on the hands and a one-hopper past the skidding Utley.
And I was a kid working there, and I used to come in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and one of my jobs was to rouse him, and he would be asleep in the ladies' lounge because there's a sofa in there. And I'm telling you, that was like going in there and putting a stick into a cage where there was a snake. You know, you would touch him and, what do you want? You know, and they'd try and wake up Bill Conlon in time for him to do his show. And I thought, man, this is really a great way to break into business.
There's a pop-up on the third base side. Martinez makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. See, I never knew that he had done the commentary.
Yeah. Well, you know, he wrote the commentary in the morning. It would be like his game story, which was different in those days because most guys wrote game stories and just wrote about the game. Bill always interspersed his own. He was like a columnist writing a game story. Right. That makes sense. And then he would write this brilliant copy in the morning for the sports shows on 1210.
Well, he's very talented.
Yep.
2 outs now for Ryan Ludwig, who flied to center his first time up. Phillies lead it 2-1. They scored 2 in the bottom of the first. Breaking ball. He was way out in front. It's 0-1. Ludwig has been the subject of many a trade rumor. Partly because of his contract, partly because he's been productive as the cleanup hitter or the 5-hitter for the Padres this year with 61 runs batted in. There's even talk that he could go back to his old team, the St. Louis Cardinals.
He had some good years over there, and this guy is a really good fastball hitter. So you notice he gets a lot of off-speed stuff.
Ruiz throws behind Venable, who broke and then stopped. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ludwig.
Venable has good speed, and he was dancing around down there, and Carlos Ruiz saw that and decided he was going to take a shot at him. Right-handed hitter, easy throw, and Venable saw it and said, I better get to the back of that bag quick.
He doesn't go again. Pitch is swung on and missed, and Ludwig's down on strikes. That is strikeout number 5 for Roy Halladay. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We've played 2.5. It's the Phils 2 and the Padres 1. Lime, the just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. By the Quality Plus Ford stores and by Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. We want to thank Wilson Valdez for doing a little dancing on air.
Yeah.
Behind the promos.
He'd have been good on that show.
Oh. I think Jimmy Rollins would have been good on that show.
Excellent.
2-1 as we begin the third. Ryan Howard takes a breaking ball for a strike. And it's no balls and one strike to Howard, who singled his first time up. Opposite way again. How about this? 2 opposite field hits in the same game for Ryan Howard. This one a double, and he's pulling in. That's second to start the third.
Well, part of what they worked on yesterday, talking to Charlie before the game, was they were trying to get him to wait and see the ball a little bit better. Now, that first time up, it really looked like he had a good swing at it, and that one too, he's waiting, and then explodes at it, and he hit it hard, and I don't think those are late swings necessarily. Not saying he's trying to hit it that way, but that's good technique.
Well, he is safe at second, safe and secure with New York Life.
But if you wait a long time and you're able to do that and recognize what the pitch is, then sooner or later you're going to turn on one and really drive it or hit it in the alley. See, Charlie's kind of talking about that right now on what we're watching.
Victorino bunts, trying to get Howard over to third. It's a good bunt. And there's one away. Normally you don't see the number 5 hitter sacrifice. That was a combination of Victorino trying to get Howard over to third, feeling more comfortable laying it down, and maybe sneaking a base hit out of it.
Yeah, you know, that's an individual decision he makes there. Now, that was a tough ball for Ryan Howard to read, too. You remember in the first inning of the game yesterday, Martinez bunted one like that in front of the plate, and it stayed in the air for a while, and Jimmy Rollins couldn't get to third. It's a hard ball to read, and he did a good job with it to see that it was going to drop, and he was able to get to third.
Well, and now the Padres will play the infield in halfway up the middle with Ibanez up and Howard at third. Little number up the third base line.
This is a tribute to Halladay right now that they're playing the infield in the third inning, because they don't want to give up a cheap run.
Ibanez hit an RBI double his first time up. Line drive toward right center field. That's going to drop in. It's going to get a run home. Second RBI of the day for Ibanez as Howard crosses the plate. 50 RBIs this year for Raul. It's 3-1 Phillies.
He's had 2 good swings here today. Looked like that little backdoor cutter that he tried to throw in. Ryan Howard with 2 excellent swings on balls to left field today. And here, that little backdoor cutter, when he got it in the middle of the plate too much, and Raul stayed back nicely and pulls this ball to right field. No matter what, he was going to get it in or get the run in because of the fly ball.
Here's Dominic Brown, and he hits a foul ball on the first pitch. It's 0-1. Well, think about it. Yesterday, we said that Howard has 2 straight hits today the opposite way. He kind of put his home run into that category, too. It was toward left center yesterday.
Well, and that's my point I was making, that when he waits like that and recognizes the pitches, then eventually he's going to really drive one in the air and hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, good job by Ryan Howard to get this started. The Phillies lead at 3-1.
It's always easy when you're up here, you know, but when hitters go up there and they get confused or they're struggling and they just swing, there's no pitch recognition, there's no location recognition, and they make outs one after another, even the good ones. Well, Ryan gets into that once in a while, and that was the idea Charlie said yesterday, was to get him to just go get away from it for a little while and see if it could help him.
Dominic Brown flied out to left his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. One ball, 2 strikes, the count.
Very good job by the Phillies in this inning, too, to get a leadoff double, get them over, get them in.
Ground ball toward the right side. That's going to sneak it to right, a base hit. Ibanez will stop at second. He thought about going over to third. Venable's got a pretty good arm in right.
Yeah, I mean, Juan Samuel's caught in between there. He wants him over there at third because then it's easy to score him. But he doesn't want him to make the third out at third base.
Well, that brings us to our Mazda league leaders. Phillies average in July, after all of their offensive struggles the first few months, hitting .274, which leads the National League. How about the Pirates are third?
Yep, a little bit of a losing streak right now. But sellout crowd after sellout crowd in Pittsburgh.
Pirates have lost 3 straight going into today's game. They're tied at 1 with the Cardinals in the 4th.
They go to Atlanta to open a 4-game series with the Braves starting tomorrow night.
Ruiz lines one toward left center. That's going to be in for an extra base hit. Ibanez will score. Brown's going to score. Carlos pulls into second, a 2-run double. It's 5-1 Phillies. That's a pretty sweet swing right there by Ruiz.
Sure was. Big mistake by Stauffer again, who's been pitching well evidently, but getting balls up to that looked like another cut fastball. First pitch, middle of the plate. See where it's supposed to be, away. Oh, and it goes right in that happy zone, and Carlos nails it. And with Dominic Brown's speed, he read it well off the bat, scores easily.
Maben was playing over toward right center a little bit. Halladay not bunting Ruiz over to third. He takes a swing, and it's a foul ball.
Right, because there's one out. He's not going to bunt here. They'll let him swing away, and you never know. Bunt him over to third with 2 outs, then the fly ball doesn't come into play.
Not sure what Maben's telling Will Venable. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
He's telling him he can play way in because this guy's going to be a little late.
Venable, whatever it was, finally heard him and said, "Okay, I got you."
He's not going to hit it over your head, he's telling him.
Unless 5-1 Phillies here in the third.
Unless you're behind the dugout.
I thought Maben was telling Will Venable that, look over my shoulder, it looks like there's a storm coming, rain. Halladay's down on strikes, 2 outs.
Well, evidently there was a little rain out in the northwest suburbs a little bit.
There you see the cloud cover. Got to figure that with all the heat that's been rolling through this area, it's got to break eventually, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a quote unquote cool front coming, so that could trigger some thunderstorms, but don't count on it.
Rollins is up with a runner at second. 2 outs here at the bottom of the third. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Get Halladay a 4-run lead like this is pretty sweet after being behind 1-0.
Phillies with 5 runs on 7 hits. They reached double digits in hits yesterday.
It's hitting weather, Tom.
Yeah, it is. And they got more than one guy contributing. Outside, 2-1. Fanatic's got a group rolling here.
He should get an MVP for what he's been doing in this heat.
Particularly the breakdancing on Friday night.
Really. Jimmy's just not seeing fastballs from this guy. A lot of breaking balls, change ups. He may try and throw. He may try and sneak something by him sooner or later. But so far, almost all junk.
There's a breaking ball again. He may have broken his bat. He hits it off the end and drags it to second. Forsythe throws him out, and the side is retired. But the Phillies got 3 more runs. The big blow, a 2-run double by Carlos Ruiz. Moments ago, Pat Gillick was presented with his Hall of Fame plaque by Commissioner Bud Selig. Pretty emotional day for the Phillies' former GM. True Block Technology. Who but WB Mason? Oh, top of the fourth, Roy Halladay has a 4-run lead to work with. Phillies have scored 5 runs on 7 hits. Carlos Ruiz out to the mound to get a bit of the rosin, keep his hand nice and dry. And after his last outing, Sarge, Gary Matthews, by the way, joins us in the booth. You dry?
Yeah.
You're dry? After his last outing, this 4-run lead is pretty comforting.
Yeah, it is. And the more runs he gets, the more comfortable he's going to feel and hopefully not have that heat exhaustion.
How much do you think the extra day has helped him as he gives up a leadoff single to Kyle Blanks after the way things transpired in his first start?
Well, I mean, I think that it helped, too, though. I mean, he came out pretty early, so, again, drinking a lot of liquids, I think that he'd be just fine. Keep in mind, though, he's in great condition, and another reason I think they'll be able to bounce back.
He had mentioned that night in the game against the Cubs that night at the hotel he felt fine. When he got back to the hotel, he got some liquids into him. And then he threw a couple days later, and he was kind of just brushing it aside at that point.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more embarrassed than anything else, but that does happen.
Well, as the series went on, guys like Vance Worley pitched very well. Worley threw 8 innings in that final game of that series against the Cubs. And I think what Halladay went through, Lee and Worley kind of learned off that, because they hydrated more and more as the week went on.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, though. I mean, one pitcher will have it done a little bit different to him in terms of the heat.
Forsythe fouls it back. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think one of the telling things about the other night was the last pitch that Halladay threw. We had mentioned it on the air. Was 86 miles an hour, and it looked like a fastball. And that's where you kind of figured, all right, there's something wrong.
Yeah, not only that, though, again, when you're out there and you're throwing, and we talked about it, the pitcher who's doing all the movement probably will be the hottest.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. That's number 6 for Halladay. Number 145 on the year.
Yeah, but as a hitter, you love this type of weather because you know the advantage is toward you. You're not going to get as tired. Take a look at Doc, though. A little bit of movement. Ball coming inside. 2-seamer.
That'll bring Kyle Phillips to the plate. He lined out to second his first time up. Ground ball toward first. Picked up by Howard. He thought about going to second. Nope, it's a foul ball. I was wondering where Phillips was. I know his brother Jason wasn't the fastest guy, and that maybe speed or lack thereof runs in the family. But I looked up and I'm like, why is he not up the first base line?
Oh, boy. And why? That's because it is a foul ball hit right off of his foot. You can tell that it definitely did. He starts hopping and screaming right away. Might have been a good time, though, for Howard to go on and throw it just to see whether or not he could get it over there, since it was a free pass.
So no balls and 1 strike to Phillips. Making his 19th start of the year. Blanks leads off first. Not a big lead. And it's 0-2.
You know, a lot of times when you're playing winter ball, you have the weather that is just about the same. I mean, you have the same type of humidity on a daily basis. The guys that play, you get used to it. Yeah, I'd much rather have the warm weather than cold weather.
That kid looked like he was doing everything he could to cool himself off, and redesign his hair.
The little ice pack looked like it's going over his head.
Ground ball to first. Howard knocks it down, kicks it back, throws off balance, and throws right past Halladay. That was a good backup by Chase Utley to get there and make sure the ball didn't roll up the right field line.
Yeah, anytime a ball's hit, Tom, you have some place to go as far as in backing up the play. Utley was over there. Dominic Brown going over too. Thought he had time, though. If he could have set himself, I thought, and be able to catch it. He do or die on that. You can see no chance at all for Doc to be able to get that ball.
So it is an error charge to Howard, his 5th of the year. And it brings Alberto Gonzalez to the plate. Gonzalez takes low. I think Halladay thought that was a strike. I think Ruiz just said something to Porter. After the Phillies scored 3 runs in their half of the 3rd, they're looking for a shutdown inning from Halladay here in the top of the 4th, and he's been good at that. In the dirt, 3-0.
Tried to get him to chase on a slider. He really did want the pitch before that. Now this is when, no matter how good a pitcher is, got to start to give in to the hitter to throw strikes. Quickest way for the opposition to get back into the game is with walks.
That looked like some gas right there. It came in at 92, but Gonzalez was way late on it.
Way late, and actually swung at the ball. Ball out of the zone with some movement.
Three and two the count with 1 out. And now Halladay steps off.
This is one of those situations. Don't think they're going to have him running, especially with the pitcher up next.
A line drive toward right center field. That's going to drop in for a hit. The Padres are going to score a run. Blanks is going to score from second. Over to third is Phillips, and it's now a 5-2 game. Well, so Gonzalez wins the battle in this at bat, his second hit of the day. It's an RBI single, and here comes Stauffer. You figure they'll have Stauffer bunt Gonzalez up to second.
Well, you got to like this. It's a smart play, though, too, as Gonzalez hits this single. Dominic Brown will cut that ball off, but instead of going to third base, keep the double play in order, and he gets that ball down. It's what you want him to do.
So Stauffer bunts foul, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, safety squeeze they're going to have going. He's going to look at it, see exactly where that ball's bunted at third base. Thinks he can score, he's going to score. That ball may have to be bunted to the right side.
I think that ball, he may have bunted off his leg. Because Bud Black and the Padres athletic trainer, unless it hit his hand as he bunted that ball. Let's get a look at it.
See how he does have his hands there on the bat.
Oh, that got his finger.
Yeah, got his finger there as he says ow, but that's part of the bat in that situation there. It's that ball, look at the movement, how it comes back in on him.
We'll keep an eye on him to see if he'll continue after this at bat. Todd Hutchison, the Padres athletic trainer, came out with Bud Black. Runners on first and third. He squares again. He bunts at it, and they're going to say he pulled the bat back. Bunts it toward first. Here he comes. He's coming home. They'll go for the out. It was a safety squeeze.
Yeah.
Phillips scores. It's a 5-3 game.
Now he comes down and just actually reads the ball to see where it's bunted. He dead that ball where Howard had to come in. He takes a look at it and decides to go to first base. Take a look at it. You can see the runner at the same. See how he hesitated? Now he sees where it is, and he knows only one play is going to be the first base. See now how big that play is from Ryan Howard, not being able to corral and get one out.
Yeah, that was the ball that Kyle Phillips hit. So that's an unearned run that scored for the Padres. It's 5-3. Maben's the batter. He takes low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Ruiz says something to Alan Porter. Just asking him where that pitch was. Cutter, and it's 1-1. Well, Doc's had to work a little harder in this inning because of the error. Still has to deal with the runner at scoring position. Ground ball towards shortstop, cut off by Rollins, no play, and it's going to be an infield single for Maben, who's limping up the right field line. Well, that's his second hit of the day.
This kid's starting to come a little bit, starting to hit the ball a little bit harder, learning as a major leaguer. Having speed there, as you can see how he's taking a look at the ball. Kind of breaks it down there. And again, that speed, boy, it's something you can't teach.
Well, now Venable with runners on first and third. And he hits it hard, backhanded on 1 hop by Howard, and the inning finally comes to a close. So the Padres scored 2, 1 earned, 1 unearned because of the error to Ryan Howard. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 5-3 ball game. Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by Jeep Rad. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. Well, we speculated that there might be something wrong with Cameron Maben, and something did happen to him. Chris Denorfia takes over in center field, and Cameron Maben did not want to leave. He's got the back tail of Bud Black's jersey. He's saying, I don't want to leave the ball game. He's still holding on to it. He's like, whoa, 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 I want to stay. I want to stay. Michael Martinez will lead it off.
Yeah, and I can see, too, when you're hitting the ball good, getting hits, you don't want to come out.
Martinez hits it toward right center field. Denorfia getting tested right away. And now he has to battle this gust of wind that's all of a sudden settled in on South Philadelphia. Some cloud cover. And there's one away here in the 5th. Utley's 0 for 2. He's flied to center. He's also gone down on strikes. Sarge, what did you like yesterday about the swings that Utley took on those home runs?
Well, mostly, I mean, the ball he hit to left field, I mean, that's just vintage. That shows you that a hitter staying right on it and then threw the ball, and then to be able to pull the ball where he pulled it, that's what makes you excited. When the guy pulls it right down the line, well, that means he's kind of getting out in front of him. Using gap to gap, however, shows you that he's still, I mean, he's very, very close. Got to be happy with those type of swings. Just wants to continue that, you know, and stay hot for about a week or two if you can, and driving and hitting those balls.
There's a ball that's hit toward left center. Denorfia moves over into the alleyway, battling the wind again, makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Now, that's a pitch that you can probably say that he just missed.
Yeah, and the wind actually brought that ball down. That one's a little bit too high. You can tell when he is driving the ball, they're line drives that you're looking at as opposed to fly balls.
Well, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The temperature, which was 100, we said before, is now down to 90 with this gust of wind that's been blowing through, and the fact that the cloud covers over the ballpark. Howard takes low.
Now, let me just tell you, compared to Friday night, this is like a cold day in December. That's right.
Did you sweat a little bit on Friday night?
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, it wasn't really all that bad, except for, well, the fans were keeping me really cold, and had one policeman bring over a bag of ice. Said I needed it more than he did. But they were really
didn't
gracious.
Take it though.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You did?
They were very gracious, though. Water all over the place, and we're having a good time.
3-0 the count to Ryan Howard. Did you offer any to Matt, the cameraman? Matt was probably working up a pretty good lather, too.
No, and all the fans, they really wanted to participate in the show, as you could see.
Can only imagine, Sarge. Swing and a miss. He got the green light, and it's 3-1. Howard has a couple hits today to the opposite way. He is single to left, and he's double to left, and he's scored 2 runs. Might have swung.
Well, Ryan Howard, he swings at strikes. It's almost impossible to get out.
And he's down on strike. So Stauffer does a nice job coming back and retiring the Phils in order here at the bottom of the 4th. So we go to the 5th here at Philadelphia. The Phils lead is at 2. To the game, there'll be a Fans Feeding Families 10 event, which will feature Roy Halladay. That's right. It's a exclusive pregame party from 11:30 to 1:30. It includes a buffet menu, beer and soft drinks, an appearance by Roy if his schedule permits, and if not, another player. Tickets are $125, $75 of which will go to Phil Abundance. Go to Phillies.com for more information. Chase Headley leads it off here in the 5th, and he takes a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Headley. Headley singled home run back in the 1st. And he takes a strike. It's 2-2. Breaking ball. Dave Roberts, the first base coach, makes the play. Talk about an impact that a coach has had in his first year. Roberts, who was a base stealing threat during his playing career, has helped the Padres to sit atop the National League in stolen bases. Utley has time to throw out Headley, 1 away.
Well, those base stealers and guys that have stole bases, they always pick up something on a particular pitcher to make it easier to steal a base.
Well, you see with his 2 stolen bases this series for the Padres, they have 107. Now, that's a pretty good distance between them and the number 2 team, the New York Mets.
Yeah, most base stealers, they try and steal on the off-speed pitch. Gets there slower, easier for them to steal a base.
Ryan Ludwig swings at a breaking ball, and he pops it up to the right side. Utley comes in, 2 outs. So 2 quick outs for Roy Halladay. And that'll bring Kyle Blanks to the plate. Blanks singled and scored his first time up, or his last time up, I should say, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Blanks is listed at 6'6", 272 pounds. Now, he's not 272 anymore, but he's big.
Oh, I'll say.
He's lost a lot of weight in his last couple of years.
More of a fastball type hitter as opposed to a breaking ball. Well, usually when you come to the league there, especially the younger guys, most all of them can hit the fastball.
Holds off. Did he go? No, says Rob Drake. Good job by Alan Porter to ask quickly, because that ball had gotten away from Ruiz. Still trying to get the outer half of the plate, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, just not able to hit that with consistency so far.
Ball 4. So Blanks was behind in the count, and he works out the 2-out walk. Just the 19th walk issued by Halladay this year. That's in 153 innings.
That's phenomenal.
Here's Forsythe. He's been struck out twice. Change up. That's in for strike 1. It's no balls and 1 strike. See the strikeout to walk ratio. Halladay is the leader of the National League. In fact, the Phillies have the top 3, and that's part of the reason, if not a big reason, for their success this year.
Pretty close pitch. No, those are the pitches too that he's not getting. Those are some of the borderline pitches that are coming in, the 2-seamer.
Line drive toward left field. That's going to drop. Ibanez will cut it off. Blanks on his way to third. The throw to third offline. That's also going to enable Forsythe to go to second.
Yeah, he's got to throw the ball to second base in that particular instance. Again, runners running all the way. Ibanez a little bit angry at himself that he didn't throw the ball to second base. Thought he would have had maybe a better play. May not have had him, but proper throw would have been to second base.
Well, now there's two runners in scoring position.
That ball there, Smoke, not getting that ball up. Now he comes in and gets it in fine fashion.
Nice catch by a fan down the left field line.
Here it is. Now here's the throw that I'm talking. See, he almost kind of let up on it like, oh, man, I didn't mean to throw that there. He didn't have a shot at Blanks at all.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillips reached on an error by Ryan Howard his last time up. He's 0 for 2. And he's got 2 in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
Wow.
He's just not getting those corners.
Yeah, and he's trying to establish where he can go to get a strike, at least a call strike. So far, Alan Porter, home plate umpire, just hasn't given him that. And again, you're not giving him anything. I mean, for me, those are balls that could be swung at or even called strikes.
That's a strike. Now that pitch he's been giving the pitchers all day. The outer part of the plate, not the inside part though. This sellout crowd trying to get behind Halladay. Just missed. 3-2.
Well, there's a good example of exactly what you're talking about. The pitch on the outside part of the plate that are down, he's not getting. The ball on the inside part has not been getting.
On the outside corner, called strike 3. That pitch he got. It was in a great spot. He leaves 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and Phillips better be careful. Last weekend in the ceremonies up at Cooperstown, Pat Gillick's speech, as you would expect. I know Pat was asked about how emotional this was going to be, and he said it was unbelievably emotional. And he goes in today with Bert Blyleven and Roberto Alomar. Into the writers' wing yesterday was Bill Conlon. Into the broadcasters' wing was Dave Van Horn. And Roland Heeman received the Buck O'Neill Lifetime. So congratulations to all 6 who were honored this weekend.
Well, congratulations for sure. Really, Bert Blyleven, I just thought he should have been in there long ago. Haven't faced him I'm sure I'm part of that 3,700 so strikeouts, but I'm telling you, he was just devastating, and what a competitor.
Well, and he was very poignant as Victorino leads off. Poignant the last couple of days with his criticism of why he wasn't in previously. You know, he said that he didn't understand it. He really thought he should have been in a while ago. Stauffer makes a nice play, and Victorino's retired, one away. Well, here's the last out, or the last pitch that ended the last inning. Ruiz, he might have brought it back a little bit, but Alan Porter's been calling the outside part of the plate. Phillips didn't think so. And Phillips, when he went back to the dugout, he still didn't think so.
Yeah, I thought the pitch before, too, might have been even a little better, but he called that a ball. That's why umpires, when they establish their strike zone, hitters will adjust, but if you're going to call one time a ball, the other time a strike, you don't know what to swing at.
Ibanez has had a good day. He's 2 for 2. A lot of times umpires will brace themselves on the back of a catcher. Do you think Phillips tell Alan Porter to stay off his back as Ludwig makes the play on that one?
Yeah, I think automatically knows not to touch him. He's probably frying a little bit. But, you know, the catchers and the umpires, they do have that kind of love-hate relationship. More love than anything else, though, because, again, you got to call the pitcher strikes, and then you got to come up to hit. And you can see him saying, hey, man, I want my pitcher to have that. That ball's a ball. We haven't been getting that.
That's the part of the game that you don't always get a chance to see. I mean, they're still discussing, I would think, that last pitch that was called a strike.
As long as you don't show the umpire up, usually he'll turn around and get in his face. They'll let you say what you want to say.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Dominic Brown. Just a little tap, right?
Balance himself.
Seriously, though, he could turn around and say, hey, man, you're going to call me out on that. Don't touch me.
You could say that. You don't want to really say that. And in the heat of the battle, sometimes you get a little more angry than you would like to.
Tried a breaking ball that slipped out of his hand. It's 2-2 to Brown, who singled his last time up, flied to left his first time at the plate. 1 for 2 with a run scored. And that's out of play.
Yeah, Dominic just missing a lot of those balls that he usually squares up. Just about right on him, following him straight back. Just needs to square it up. The ball's going to go a long way. Now he might say a little something on, like, that's exactly where my pitch was, and you call me out on it.
He's gotten Brown as Phillips hangs on, and the side is retired in order for a second straight inning. So Stauffer's kind of settled in. We've completed 5. It's on to the 6th with the Phillies up by 2. Of the week is the best surprise of the 2011 season so far. The right-hander has been in control and in a groove since his return from the minors. Vance Worley has taken the ball for the Phillies and is running with the opportunity, hurling himself into all leading categories among rookies while delivering wins for baseball's top team. How does a rookie perform alongside an outstanding rotation like this? Just fine so far. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Now we start the top of the sixth. Roy Halladay fires a strike to Alberto Gonzalez. It's a 5-3 game here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies had a 5-1 lead. Gonzalez is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Most likely going to reach 100 pitches in this inning. Ground ball toward third. Backing up on it, Martinez sets himself quickly, and that's a strong throw.
Boy, this kid can play some defense. Soft hands. You can see now why the scouts really like this guy. He's going to see what he's going to do offensively, but he showed that he can play defense. Check this out as he gets rid of the ball very quickly and right on the money. Good arm as that ball comes right over the top. Howard thanks him for that.
That was a nice throw. Stopford takes a strike, so no balls in one strike.
Well, I would think too, though, with Doc, just because of what happened his last outing, that he's not going to be going or maybe trying to finish the game.
Well, 2 outs here in the sixth, although that one made your heart pitter-patter a little bit faster.
Well, it's all results.
Host your next corporate or social event at Citizens Bank Park. The ballpark offers a variety of unique spaces and on-site catering available year-round for many types of functions, both large and small. Take advantage of all the ballpark has to offer. Tours, Fanavision usage. Call the special events department at 218-5100 or go to Phillies.com/special events. 2 outs for Denorfia, who's batting for the first time. 2 for 3. Taken outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Ground ball over to the middle. Backhanded by Utley. Well, this is going to take Halladay through the sixth with less than 100 pitches. That was a pretty efficient inning for him. 1, 2, 3, go the Padres. First 1, 2, 3 inning of the day for Doc. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Mazda. Zoom, zoom. Last of the sixth. 5-3 Phillies. It is hot. But we're fortunate. It seems like whatever storm was looming around the Delaware Valley has missed us, at least for the time being. Roy Halladay has dealt with the conditions, as the fans have today. Carlos Ruiz leads it off and takes a breaking ball from Tim Stauffer, and it's 0-1. Ruiz chops it toward third. Big hop for Headley. One gone here in the sixth. Well, Roy Halladay threw his first 1-2-3 inning of the day in the top of the sixth. Every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1-2-3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. One away for Halladay, who takes low.
That music kind of reminds me of being in the islands, you know, when you're in that dance line and they're going hot, 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 and had a couple of cold ones.
Or maybe a wedding. You know, they usually do that song in weddings as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in my shorts when I'm doing this, Tom, and a hat, okay? And some sandals. That's right.
Outside, 3-0.
Makes you feel cooler when you hear that music.
You think so, huh?
No doubt in my mind.
I'd love to see you doing a little limbo.
I used to go pretty low. It's impossible now, though. I have a better chance of jumping over it than going underneath it. Oh, boy.
3-1 the count to Halladay. And there's ball four. And Halladay's aboard with one out here in the sixth as the first base runner sits the third. Well, speaking of Roy Halladay, Roy and the Halladay Family Foundation are part of the Fans Feeding Families program that the Phillies are doing with a number of their corporate sponsors. Now, you can help support the Fans Feeding Families initiative in raising money. Each year, 900,000 people in the Delaware Valley are at risk of hunger. Purchase a limited edition Fans Feeding Families pin. On sale now at $5 at the Majestic Clubhouse store and at newsstands here at Citizens Bank Park. You can also go to Phillies.com and purchase one of those pins. Darren Balsley's going out to the mound to talk to Stauffer with a runner at first.
Just giving his bullpen a little time to warm up. They've got action in the bullpen, left-hander and right-hander throwing.
Yeah, Luke Gregerson is the righty, and Josh Spence, the Australian, is the lefty. Phillies have the two switch hitters, and then Utley and Howard, and then their third switch hitter, and Shane Victorino. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets have taken the lead over the Marlins. David Wright has hit a home run, also has a double. Rollins sends one to the air to straightaway center. 2 outs.
Wind held that up. David Wright, since coming back, has been on fire and hitting that ball. There was some talk that maybe he wouldn't be at third base, but you got to go some to be able to be in front of him. This guy's a good hitter, clutch hitter.
Michael Martinez 0 for 2. Well, speaking of the Mets, this is the 24th of July. The trade deadline is upon us as Martinez sneaks one into center. Halladay around second holds up there. So Martinez has a 7-game hitting streak. Phillies have runners on first and second, but the Mets are one of those teams that could lose a couple of their players before next Sunday's trade deadline.
Yeah, they got a hard decision on whether or not they want to keep their right fielder and Beltran, the fine shortstop Jose Rios, one of the better players in the game, let's face it, and having a terrific year this year.
Well, the thing with Reyes is whether he's healthy or not and whether they want to re-sign him.
It's a good point, too, though, and he has had injuries over the last few years.
Chase Headley in to talk to Stauffer with Utley at the plate.
Well, another stall tactic, though.
You think that's what this is?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that is exactly what it was, Sarge, because here comes Bud Black, and that's going to be it for Tim Stauffer. So his afternoon will be complete. You would assume they're going to bring the lefty Josh Spence into the ballgame to face Chase Utley. And here he comes. So Spence into the game to face Utley with Howard on deck. Stauffer will run off the field. His afternoon is complete. The Phillies with a 2-run lead. They've got a runner in scoring position. In fact, 2 on here in the 6th. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen. Plays include Trevor May, right-handed pitcher from the Clearwater Threshers, who was 2-2, but allowed just 5 earned runs in 30 innings of work. Also had 40 strikeouts. And Cesar Hernandez, the Threshers' second baseman, he had 315. He drove in 10, scored 11. Phillies have a few individuals that have been red hot the last few weeks in their farm system, including these 2 guys. Speaking of red hot, the Phillies' offense has been hot the last couple of games. They lead it 5-3 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Josh Spence is on to take over for Tim Stoffer, who goes 5 2/3. By the way, May, we were just talking about the Kia minor league player of the month.
Yeah.
11 strikeouts today in 6 innings. Utley has scored a run today. He takes a strike, and it's 0-1. He walked back to the first, struck out in the second, flied out to center. His last time up. He has Halladay at second and Martinez at first. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Wow, that's his fastball, 85.
He must be very funky coming to the plate. He must be difficult to pick up.
Well, that's why, too. Left-handers can be those specialty pitchers, especially if they have that good breaking ball. That's usually what's able to get out left-handed batters.
There is the breaking ball, and Utley was out in front. He's just trying to stay alive, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trying to tack on another run or 2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now that breaking ball has to be close to starting inside for it to be a strike. If he starts it over the outside part of the plate, that ball is going to break down and away for a ball.
Off the end of the bat, a blooper toward right, and Venable closes to make the catch. That ball really hung up there for him, and the side is retired. Phillies leave 2. We go to the 7th. They're up by 2.
Proving once again the dancing should be left to dancing on air.
Well, I guess we technically were on air.
Whatever you guys were doing there, I don't know.
We were doing a Congo line.
But Martha and the Vandellas sound pretty good.
Yeah, we weren't doing it to that.
No, as we look at the Verizon Wireless game summary, the Phillies had jumped out 5-1. A couple of, well, those runs should not have scored there in the 4th inning. And it is now a 5-3 game. Raul Ibanez, Carlos Ruiz with a couple of runs batted in. Roy Halladay, he has been solid here today in this heat. And, oh, wow.
We're supposed to be doing a Congo line.
Is that what that is?
Sarge wanted to do a Congo line. He was talking about being in the he was talking about being in the islands doing the Congo line.
You know when you have to describe what you were doing?
Yeah. Well, there was only 2 people. If we had more than 2 people, you would have understood.
Thankfully, you didn't.
We go to the top of the 7th. Will Venable leads it off for the Padres. Venable shows Bud.
How did Christine not get involved in that?
I think she would have if it would have lasted a little longer. I think we could have even gotten Unit involved in that.
Oh, yeah, Carl would have done that. Absolutely.
Venable again bunts. He bounds right back to the mound.
Well, that's really big for Halladay because Roy's out there on the bases that inning with all the with the pitching change going on in this heat. So to give him an out like that.
Well, the last 4 outs he's thrown just 8 pitches. You know, if it were me and I'm Bud Black, I'd be exasperated that he just did that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to bunt his way on to get the tying run up there, but it just looks bad when you bunt it right back to the pitcher.
It's Chase Headley who takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. We mentioned at the start of the last inning that Halladay would probably get through the 6th over 100 pitches. Well, he just now is over 100 with 1 out here in the 7th.
Yeah, because that 4th inning was brutal, what he had to go through in that because of the loose play in that inning.
Here's the 1-1 to Headley. Inside and low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I wonder where they can go with their bullpen today, too, whether or not Madsen would be available 3 days in a row after coming off the disabled list. You know, that Bastardo, you're going to have in the back of your mind what you saw yesterday.
I have to kind of think that's an aberration, though. He's been so good.
Hope so. Yeah, exactly. That's what you hope. But it's going to be there.
Ground ball to second. Big hop for Chase Utley. And there are 2 easy outs here in the 7th for Halladay. So 2 away. Ryan Ludwig's the batter, and these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. We'll each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Ryan Madsen's making some calls just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Rob DiClemente, the Phillies bat boy, is answering the call. And Ludwig bounces one toward the hole, cut off by Martinez. How about these last 2 innings for Roy Halladay? Another 1-2-3 inning, another quick one for Halladay. He's retired 7 straight. It's time to stretch, and then Ryan Howard will lead off the bottom of the 7th. His answer. Wheels, as the GM of the Seattle Mariners, what player did Pat Gillick select in the first round of the 2002 MLB Amateur Draft?
Read a lot of Pat Gillick stories in the last week.
Yeah.
And I
talk about his worst trade. He talked about that one.
Yeah, I think it was Jason Worth.
Jason Worth? That's a good guess. That would be incorrect.
No, he drafted in with Baltimore.
Yes, he did. First round, though. That was good. As a catcher.
As a catcher.
Do you have another guess?
No. Not unless you're going to give me a hint.
Well, he's worn a Phillies uniform.
John Mayberry Jr.
That's a heck of a hit right there. That's right. John Mayberry was selected by the Seattle Mariners. Didn't sign back in 2002 out of Rockhurst High School in Kansas City. He decided to go to the university, go to Stanford University.
Right.
And then he was selected in the first round by the Texas Rangers. So you do not get the prize. We'll save that for one of the fans.
Whatever that's going to be.
So you can log back on to Phillies.com and find out if you're a winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thank you for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Ryan Howard to lead it off here at the bottom of the 7th. Wheels, I think the Dodge Stump the Fans home game is going to come out at the end of this year just in time for Christmas.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I got to get one of those.
Well, you're a big part of it.
Well,
Howard has 2 hits today. He's also scored a couple runs. No balls and 1 strike to count to Howard.
Wonder if this is his last hitter.
Well, they have had Gregerson loosening up.
He's pretty tough against right-handed hitters, though, too, if you look at his numbers, because of that little changeup he can throw down and away.
There's Gregerson going over the lineup card. The guys that are ready to come up after Howard.
That's Darryl Ackersfeld out there.
Yeah,
who
former Phil.
Pitched for the Phillies, yeah. He went by Ack when he pitched here. Everybody has a nickname, of course.
What's yours?
It depends on who's using it. Depends on the mail you get and all kinds of stuff.
Well,
you know that feeling.
1-2 the count to Ryan Howard. The big piece, as he's called by his manager.
Hit 2 balls to left field early in the game off Tim Stauffer. Didn't spill a drop. Good job.
I think it might have been meant for that little girl that was behind him, though.
Well, maybe he'll give it to her.
Yeah, he'll rethink it. He's pretty happy about it.
No, that's over.
I don't think so. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Howard's down on strikes. 1 out here in the 7th.
That guy is funky.
Yeah, but Black, let's see what he does here. He does have the righty Gregerson loosening up. Now he could choose to let Spence face Victorino from the right side because Ibanez is up next.
A lot of motion and then a good breaking ball. Not like it's hard. It's not like his fastball's hard, but he throws in good spots. He got ahead, and that's the whole idea. Don't throw a strike with him. Make him chase.
Victorino against lefties. His numbers have been very good this year. He's among the league leaders. And he takes strike 1.
Phillies came out swinging today and scored a bunch of runs early, and then Stauffer did a good job shutting them down, and it's continued now with Spence since he's come in.
Yeah, Stauffer allowed just 1 hit in his last 3 innings of work.
Yeah, he kept this game under control, and his team came back and got 2 more, so this game's very manageable for San Diego.
0-2 the count to Victorino.
The Phillies like to think that they're good with 2-run lead this late.
There's Brad Lidge, who has yet to get into a game since coming off the disabled list.
You have to find a spot for him.
Just to get his feet wet.
Yeah, just a spot that's comfortable.
In the dirt. Now it's 2-2.
That certainly wouldn't be in a 2-run game in the 8th inning.
There may come a time, though, as the year moves on, where he's going to have to be used in a 2-run game in the 8th inning.
They certainly hope that it comes to that point where they can trust him.
I think he's making Ryan Matson laugh right now. Little cue shot foul. That'll be over toward the Fanatics area. That bullpen the last few years has been, well, they've been a tight group. And it's, it was Chad Durbin, J.C. Romero, Lidge, of course, Ryan Matson. And now there's a number of different characters that are out there. But Lidge is back and hopefully healthy for the long term.
Well, they become that way out there. They become a team almost. And they all have different type personalities. That's usually what bullpen guys are anyway.
3-2 the count to Victorino. Ball forward. He's aboard with one out. And that'll bring Ibanez to the plate. Hey, go to PHL17.com/postgame or check out PHL17's Facebook to submit your questions to the postgame show. Then after the game, John Clark and Mike Massili have all the highlights and recaps on the Phillies postgame show. Live from Sugar House Casino. Coming up next, right after the game. Oh, here's Ibanez.
Well, Spence is a guy you can run on. You have to make a decision here. Whether you want the hole to stay open for the left-handed hitter or you think about letting Victorino try to steal a bag. And by his movements at first base on that first pitch, he's staying there. So this guy does not have much of a move, and he's slow to the plate, plus his stuff is slow.
Well, speaking of Brad Lidge, there he is. He's starting to fire in the pen. Well, this might be a comfortable game to put him in. It might be out of necessity, too.
That's the whole thing. That's what we're talking about. I don't know who's available out there today or who they're comfortable with. I know one thing. I think they're pretty happy that Halladay was able to get through that last 2 innings with minimum pitches. I don't know whether he's available or not for the eighth, or whether what they're probably doing to think about hitting for him.
Torino started towards second. They went back. Well, Halladay threw just 15 pitches the last 2 innings. But Wheels is right. If his spot comes up, they may look for some more runs.
Right, and if you were to get to that point, you break the game open more. You feel more comfortable letting Brad Lidge come in. So there's a few things going on here.
1-0 the count to Ibanez. Ground ball foul. It's 1-1.
Yeah, they think that Victorino is going to run, even though he doesn't look like it, and that's why all those throwovers are being called.
Victorino has stolen 13 bases this year. He's been caught 3 times. He doesn't go again. That ball's hit in the air. Center field. Pretty well hit. Denorfia going back to the warning track to the wall. And he made the catch. Oh, what a play.
Wow.
Wow. Did he go over the wall and make a tremendous grab? And he just saved the Padres' bacon.
That ball is out of the ballpark into the bullpen. What a catch by Denorfia, who didn't even start the game. Now Maven can really go get him. Look at his teammates there.
Listen to the crowd and the reaction from even the crowd.
He catches this ball at the last split second too. The way the ball's carrying, this looks like it's gone. Certainly an extra base hit. He was really shallow, sizes everything up, pulls it back. That is just that's one of the greatest catches you'll ever see.
Look at the reaction even from David Herndon in the Phillies bullpen, and Ibanez. I mean, he knows he had a home run that was just pulled back.
Ball was over the wall.
So here's Dominic Brown with 2 outs.
He took one quick peek there at the fence at the end and then just sold out to make the play. Just a great play by Denorfia. Wow.
I didn't think he'd get back to the spot in time.
No. He was playing shallow too. He had a long run for that thing. Boy, that looked like a 4-run lead.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the home run changes the entire complexion of this game. I love the reaction from the crowd too. I mean, they so understand the game. There's a fly ball to shallow right. Will Venable meanders in and makes the catch, and the side is retired. But Chris Denorfia was the story of this 7th inning. He just pulled a home run back from Raul Ibanez. He goes up over the short fence in center, pulls it away, and then the Padres go on to finish off the inning, and they don't allow the Phillies to score. vacation for amazingly low office product prices. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by Honda. See your local Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. 5-3 Phillies. We go to the top of the 8th. Roy Halladay is still out there. He threw 15 pitches the last 2 innings, retired the Padres in order. Here's Kyle Blanks. He'll lead it off in the 8th. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. This is part of the game I've loved watching Halladay pitching over the last couple of years. When he sees the finish line. Now, he may not be out here in the 9th inning. This could be his last inning because he's at 108 pitches, but you know, he can smell it. The 0-2 pitch. Ground ball foul.
Well, the other thing is, and you know, Tom, that his makeup, he wants to show everybody that what happened in Chicago the other night. That was just a strange occurrence. Yeah, you know, of a confluence of events that night.
Breaking ball. Cut out and missed. Blanks is down swinging. Halladay has 8 strikeouts this afternoon. 1 away here in the 8th.
When you get right down to it, he should have only given up 1 run today anyway, and that was that run in the first inning. But it's a 5-3 game, and because of that play by Denorfia, it stayed 5-3. This is a really good breaking ball. This guy gets a lot of off-speed stuff. You can tell he wants to hit a fastball, those Blanks, and Roy throws him the curveball to strike him out.
Logan Forsythe is the batter. He's 1 for 3 today. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
The other thing we didn't mention about Denorfia, so caught up in that catch, was that unbelievable throw he made back to first. He almost doubled Victorino.
Because Victorino was a step beyond the second base bag.
He had a retag.
Outside, 1-1.
Throw was right on line.
Swing and a miss. That's a heck of a sinker right there.
He's really started to hit his spots in the last few innings.
Lidge continues to warm up. Well, maybe he's going to be the 9th inning. They're just giving us some extra time to loosen up. Breaking ball towards shortstop. Should be an easy play for Rollins. He's got it. Hurries the throw over. 2 outs. Hey, you want to add to your Phillies pregame experience? Well, a pregame party area for groups of 20 or more is perfect for entertaining family, friends, or business associates. A variety of party areas to choose from. For more information, call 215-463-5000 and ask about the pregame parties at Citizens Bank Park. 2 outs for Kyle Phillips. 0 for 3 today. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Well, he's really finding a different strike zone now.
Well, he's right there with everything all of a sudden. But as we said, in that inning where he gave up the run.
Toward left center field. That's hit pretty hard. Ibanez on the run. He's there. It's sliced right on back to him. And he makes the catch, and the side is retired. 10 in a row retired by Roy Halladay. Will he come out to pitch tonight? Well, we'll know in just a minute when the Phillies hit. the doctor ordered. So check out PHL 17's resident wisecracker. Hugh Laurie stars in the acclaimed medical drama House tonight, beginning at 8 right here on PHL 17. Inside the Phillies dugout, Phillies lead at 5-3. See Roy Oswalt sitting there with his legs crossed in the dugout. Ross Glode's coming out to pinch hit for Roy Halladay. We said we'd find out whether he'd be pitching in the 9th inning. Anyway, Oswalt is scheduled to make a rehab start this Wednesday. He'll throw 60 pitches. That's good news, as Luke Gregerson is the new pitcher for the Padres. His 38th game, 2-3 at 2.62 earned run average. Antonio Bastardo's firing away in the Phillies bullpen. Halladay got a great reaction from the crowd as he was leaving the field, and as he was walking around the dugout, he's getting some fist pumps from his teammates.
Yeah, the crowd anticipated what you were saying, Tom, that he's going to hit second in the inning, so that was it for him. And what a job he did today in this heat.
I thought there was a chance he would start the 9th only because of the way the Phillies bullpen is right now, not knowing who's available and who is.
Right, but after yesterday, they don't want him to start the 9th and get in trouble and then put Bastardo in the soup again, because he was wild yesterday. They bring Bastardo in, they want him to, hopefully it doesn't happen, but they want him to cause his own trouble.
Carlos Ruiz leads it off against Gregerson. He does just what he did during warmups. He fires one right past the catcher. Gregerson walked, or excuse me, Ruiz walked in the 2nd, doubled home 2 runs in the 3rd, grounded out to 3rd in the 6th. Swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Boy, one slider after another, and it's 1-2. Tomorrow the series wraps up, and it'll be Cliff Lee who will be on the mound for the Phillies, and he'll be opposed by Aaron Harang. Then the Giants come in: Lincecum, Zito, and Kane against Worley, Hamels, and Kendrick. They had 3 games, and Ruiz is rung up.
You don't see many fastballs from Gregerson. It's one slider after another, and Carlos Ruiz will attest to that.
And Ross Glode will come out and pinch hit for Halladay. Glode got a pinch hit yesterday. He had been 0 for his last 10 as a pinch hitter. Even with that, he's hitting .277 overall. Got to give him some credit. He's been battling all year, even with the hip injury that he's been playing with.
Starting with a changeup.
Foul ball, and it's 0-2.
He just, when you see him, he's trying so hard down there, but he just looks like he has such an upper body swing because of the hip problem. But he's such a professional hitter that he can still help you because he puts a ball in play.
Rockets that one foul into the seats.
I think it's tougher for him to wait on pitches too, you know, when you're hitting upper body like this, because you know you have to get started a little bit quicker. And the key to a good hitter like Glode and all good hitters is to be able to stay back a little bit. More than a little bit, to stay back and be able to recognize pitches and then explode.
Stays alive, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Phillies have been fortunate this year, even with the injury has been battling through. He is still one of the game's better pinch hitters, but they've also gotten good contributions from guys like John Mayberry off the bench, as he has split time between the majors and the minors. Mayberry has 4 hits as a pinch hitter this year, plus a couple RBIs. Ruiz is 2 for 5 with that grand slam. And Ben Francisco is 6 for 16 as a pinch hitter. That's why a lot of folks wonder, you know, can Francisco contribute to a major league club, even if he's not playing every day. I mean, 6 for 16. He's making some contact when he's up there in spots. And Glode's down on strikes, and there are 2 outs. Another slider. And back-to-back strikeouts for Gregerson. And that'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate.
He throws that hard breaking ball, and you throw it away the right-handed hitters is really difficult. And then throw that back foot one there that he just did to Glode and get him out with that.
Rollins is 0 for 4.
They've got the corners coming way up for Jimmy Rollins, who doesn't bunt very often, and now Blanks is moving back at first.
Jay McLaughlin, the in-house public address announcer here at the ballpark in the press box, giving us the pitch count on Roy Halladay. 116 pitches today, 78 strikes. He finished strong. And now he'll lean on Antonio Bastardo to finish the ball game strong. 2-0 pitch to Rollins. Cue shot right back to the box. A spinner right to Gregerson. And the side is retired. So it's on to the 9th. The Phillies looking for their 10th straight win over the Padres. So this wraparound series, as they call it, will finish up tomorrow afternoon at 1:05 here at the ballpark. We'll be on Comcast Sportsnet beginning at 1 o'clock. Then the Giants come in for 3 night games. Then the Pirates Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It finishes up on PHL 17 next Sunday before the Phillies head out on the road. And they still have 3 more outs to get here in the 9th against the Padres. Antonio Bastardo will be put in charge of the 9th inning. Bastardo had a hiccup yesterday. That raised his earned run average from 0.99 to 1.46. He had some trouble with his control. He went 2/3. He walked 2, allowed 2 hits, threw a wild pitch. Facing Alberto Gonzalez to start it off, and he delivers a slider for a strike. It's 0-1.
One of the advantages of having 2 guys that have closed like this, and Bastardo and Madsen use Bastardo, and maybe today he gets that rush that a closer gets, as opposed to in a game yesterday when it may not have been there in the 8th inning.
He didn't throw his fastball that often in yesterday's 8th inning, which was kind of surprising. And He's got a fastball that's mid-90s. That one was at 92.
Yeah, and
you
you
might utilize that a little bit more.
Right, especially with a 2-run lead right now. Get that first batter out is always so important.
A looper to left. Ibanez coming on, makes the catch. What away!
That was a that was a fastball come in on him that he jammed him with.
Well, the Phillies have won 9 straight against the Padres. The last time they've beaten an opponent 10 straight, the Padres. From 04 to 06, they won 11 consecutive against San Diego. They've been really good against the National League West, but they've kind of dominated the Padres of late. 1 out, and Orlando Hudson will pinch hit for the Padres. Hudson has not started the first 3 games of this series after colliding with the wall in Florida on Thursday.
Yeah, Phillies have gotten a little bit of a break not having the O-Dog in the lineup because this guy's a good player. He's a switch hitter, and he also can play second base. He has Rawlings Gold Gloves in both leagues with Arizona and Toronto.
First pitch slider is low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Outside, it's 2-0. Bastardo is 7 for 7 in save situations, trying to save this baby for Roy Halladay. And have Halladay join Cole Hamels as a 12-game winner in the National League. Pretty impressive. 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball for a strike. It's 2-1.
That's all he's thrown since he's come into the game, with fastballs, which is good. You know, he has a really good breaking ball, but 2-run lead, throw some fastballs in good spots and try and get outs. Don't walk anybody.
There's a slider low. It's 3-1. Denorfia waits on deck. With this revolving door the Phillies have had at the back of the game, they've still been one of the best in the league, no matter who the closer's been. And a strike, and it's 3-2.
You challenge him here with another fastball.
Three and 2 the count. Will be out of play. Bastardo made his major league debut as a starting pitcher against the Padres in that game. And there are not a lot of guys that are still left on the Padres roster that he faced. He threw just about every pitch a fastball.
Right, and when you see the guy just foul it over the first base dugout, a right-handed hitter, he's late. There's no reason to speed his bat up with anything here. Throw him a fastball.
3-2 the count to Hudson. Fastball hit foul again.
Late again.
Yeah, he's only thrown 2 sliders to the first 2 hitters. The one to start Hudson, and then one when it was 2-1 to Orlando Hudson. There's a slider. Popped foul, out of play. Phillies trying to pick up a victory here to win another series. Also, it would be their 64th win already. This one will stay in fair territory. Brown over toward the line, puts it away. 2 outs here in the ninth.
94 fastball, late swing, 2 outs. Good job by Antonio Bastardo. Just keep pumping heat here.
And now it's Denorfia, who's 0 for 1. Grounded out to second his first time up. Also made an unbelievable play out in center, and that's why it's still just a 2-run lead for the Phillies.
That's why this game is a save situation.
Fastball a little high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to Denorfia. The Phillies have been so good here at home, and they're trying to continue that run with this ball game today. The Braves play later on. See Ruiz reminding him all the way through. Follow yourself down.
Yeah, the idea here is don't get too much of an adrenaline rush with 2 outs and overthrow.
That's a good spot. 3 straight fastballs. It's 2-1 with Denorfia.
And Denorfia was not going to swing until he got at least 1 strike because he's trying to get the tying run up there.
Toward the Hall of Fame club. Ooh. Off the fingertips of a fan who's going to be feeling that one. You know, maybe this next pitch will make him feel better. It's 2-2 with 2 outs here at the top of the ninth. Antonio Bastardo trying to earn his 8th save of the year and make Roy Halladay a 12-game winner. He's ready. He's got his signs. The 2-2 pitch. And a called strike 3 right on the inside part of the plate with a fastball. Antonio Bastardo bounces back from yesterday to earn his 8th save of the season as he pitches a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Phillies hang on for a 5-3 victory. Not only that, the 64 wins for the Phillies in their first 100 games, the 2nd most in franchise history to the 76 Phillies. Pretty impressive stuff. Raul Ibanez had himself a pretty good day. He helped the Phillies to the victory. It could have been a whole lot better for Ibanez if not for Chris Denorfia. But the Phillies still win it by a final of 5-3. Ruiz, a heck of a job behind the plate. Chase Utley, the rest of the Phillies offense picked up 8 hits overall. They did a fantastic job to back the pitching of our player of the game, Roy Halladay.
Well, Roy Halladay had 8 solid innings here today. Really had good stuff. Again, battled through this heat. Gave up a run in the first inning. Then they got him a 4-run lead. Then he gave some back. Not all his fault. Not real good fielding in that inning. But you see his breaking ball there using his changeup, cutter, sinker. Typical Roy Halladay with all those different pitches. Tough 8 innings here this afternoon. He's our Chevrolet player of the game.
Heck of a bounce-back game for Halladay off his first start after the All-Star break. He is now one of 3 12-game winners in the National League. Jair Jurgens and Cole Hamels. Now Roy Halladay. And I'll tell you what, Raul Ibanez had a heck of a day for the Phillies. He's down in the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot there. You're right. Raul had just a great ball game today. Talking a little bit about that ball that you hit to center field. You think you got that? I thought you put pretty good wood on it.
I had good spin on it, and I caught the bottom half of the ball a little bit. In hindsight now, I wish I would have caught the top part of the ball a little more, but he made a great play.
Well, you know what? The fans, they really get it because they were giving either you a standing ovation or the center fielder that caught the ball.
Either way. Either way, we always appreciate our fans here. They're amazing. And either way, I was equally ticked off, so I wish I would have gone over.
Roy Halladay coming back off the heat exhaustion there in Chicago. Just a gutty performance.
Yeah, gutsy performance by Roy. You know, as usual, he went out there, he went right after guys, and he did his thing. It's a typical Roy Halladay game, and he battled back.
You surprised about Bastardo there at all?
No, I'm not surprised at all. As you know, Sarge, when you're playing, you just take care of your business playing, and whoever they throw in there, your job is to catch the ball. So Bastardo's been throwing the ball great, and it was great.
Got to make you feel good. The whole team now starting to kind of gel, squaring up some balls at this time. Got to make you feel good.
Yeah, definitely feels good. Guys are squaring up balls, putting good at-bats together, and we're getting guys on base, moving guys over, and we're playing the baseball that we're capable of playing.
Continued success. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Tom, Wills?
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. Our thanks to Raul Ibanez for joining us. He had a 2 RBI day. Could have been a little bit more if not for Chris Denorfia, but the Phillies win it 5-3.